everybody, it's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore
coming at you. And we're so glad that you're here, and we are going to continue on with, or I should say really start these...
we're going to start a continuation.
Yes, but it's really the start of basically a parade of the words that God is speaking to us, but then also like visions that we feel like are coming to pass. Mm-hmm. And I'm really just seeing this as a parade. Like, if you picture it even for yourself, so it's like, imagine just watching as different, in a parade you could have vehicles, bands, floats, all those things. They're coming by and you're just observing, you're just looking at it. And that's what I really feel like this time's about, is just like looking and seeing what God is doing and what he is declaring. And just that's really the time and place that we're in. Like we said yesterday, it's like that girding up, bringing everything together. But I also am feeling just today, and we have for basically the last week, a little over a week or so, is just the wind of the Spirit blowing. And I really feel that there is just this sense of the wind of the Spirit coming, and as the Spirit's blowing, it's bringing to life all of the things that God has spoken, and I think that's coming through with us just talking about what God has been speaking to us recently, but also going through all of these visions and that God has given us. Yeah. And I just feel like it's just going to continue to just go and go. Like even today, because Devin's actually currently putting together some things that God has just been speaking to him from last night and today, and it's just really cool. But I'm like, Lord, I feel like we're coming into that place, talk about a vision, right? Where it's like the swirling, like that tornado that we're just going around and around and around the Lord. But I feel like, again, it's that gathering together, right? All of these dreams and visions. But then it's like we're going to be just swirling around in our hearts. It's just going around of, look at what God is doing. Look at what he's done. Look at where we're at with all of these visions and dreams and scriptures that God has given us throughout this whole journey. But it's like the Spirit is coming and just like bringing things and just adding to everything that the Lord is doing. And I'm just like, okay, we'll see what the Lord does. But I feel like for both of us, we testify to the fact that we are definitely feeling the wind and the blowing of the Spirit in like major ways. And
some ways you can't even make videos about.
Yeah.
It's like what John said about the Gospels or about Jesus' life. It's like if we wrote about everything he did, the whole world couldn't fill the books and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So it's just, I am definitely excited to just continue to share, but I also feel like God he's going to spice things up. He's going to bring forth, I think, word and more of his Spirit, just even as we're continuing to share and going forward.
Yeah, there is definitely a preparation going on right now, and it's like, and it's not just a dress rehearsal like we said in our last video. We did address that in our last video. It's just, there's something going on. I'm like, man, this is different. God's really pulling stuff out, and like you said, I'm working on these ideas, and God just keeps giving me more ideas. It's like he's putting stuff on my desk to do. I'm like, whoa, what is this? This is like in the future type stuff, right?
Well, I do think though that it really has to do with the getting dressed. And it's like God's like, I'm giving you, putting into your hands, clothing you with what you're getting ready to be sent into. And it's a very tangible, like, you see it displayed in your life because you're putting it on. Yeah. Or receiving it from the Lord. Yeah. So very exciting stuff. So today I wanted to talk about and actually probably the next few videos are going to be kind of about this transition for us of going from this priestly training time into a kingly training time. And one of the things that God has brought up is this going from one mountain to another mountain. And ultimately, we've been on the mountain of the Lord. We've been with him, but it's like Mount Sinai. And Moses, when he was up on Mount Sinai, he was fasting and just in the presence of God for 40 days and 40 nights. And during that time, he received the 10 Commandments, but he also received basically the blueprints for the tabernacle. And our time during this priestly time with the Lord of this training has been for us, it's really been about like the law, in the sense that the law brings about exposure of hearts, right? The law was there to show man that this is what God's heart is. He wants you to live this way, but then also the need that you have because you can't fulfill the law perfectly.
Yeah,
and it really exposed the sinfulness of man.
Part. It's like, here, you want to do it my way? Here you go. What? We can't do that? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I showed you, because,
Yeah. And so it was just, and that's really kind of been where God has been exposing the heart, showing like, hey, look, in this area you deal with fear, you're having doubt, you're allowing your desires to like lead you on this way. Your heart is, you're dealing with anger over here, you're dealing with the emotions. Don't be swayed by this thing or that thing. And so throughout this journey, God has really been coming deep diving into the heart and breaking off even concrete thinking and, well, this is how God works, or this is not how God works. And it's like, no, he's trying to really reveal himself. And through it all, we know that, okay, Lord, we need you. That's why Jesus died on the cross.
I mean, it's been a lot of it, like comparison, envy, ungratefulness, incessant complaining, no matter how much you get. And we're not even talking about the kids yet. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, it's been all of that.
Yeah.
It's like anything that the Lord has seen.
I mean, it's just,
oh my gosh,
any of the issues that can come through the heart, and that can be brought out even when you're in a wilderness type situation with the Lord. As you're walking with him, sometimes you start to get bitterness. You start to get angry at God because you're not understanding why you are in the place that you're in and what's happening.
Or more to the point, why are you in the place you're in so long? God, I thought you said. I did say. Yeah, but I mean, bruh, for real? Like, seriously, I'm looking at my calendar. I mean, what that's where a lot of the time frame, I mean, right?
Yeah.
I would say that is probably the number one contender for the title is the time frame. It's just like, my gosh, particularly when you get excited and you're going through that dress rehearsal type thing and you think that that's it. And it's like, okay, that's a wrap. You guys did great. All right, everyone go home and we'll
do it again tomorrow.
Like, what? What's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow is 2023. What? The whole year? Yes, the whole year. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and so, but then also, there's just been in the idea of like how Moses, he was fasting, in the sense that God has just been like, in our time in the wilderness, there's been a lot of laying things down that God's just like, I want you to put this down. Your focus is on me.
Gosh.
And having like, for our whole family, having just the morning times with the Lord, evening times with the Lord. Really, honestly, the whole day is the Lord's. I mean,
can I say something on that? Mm-hmm. I just feel like when you're in a wilderness time, everything's hard. Mm-hmm. Time's hard. Everything's hard. Like everything, because it's almost like you got to look at it as like, okay, I'm going into this place where God's going to be cutting things and squeezing things and pulling things and yanking things, and it's like that. All of it is just going to be hard, but you have to keep your mind on the fact that it's for a good reason. Whatever's in there needs to come out because God knows what He's doing, and you don't want to resist Him.
Yeah.
But it's just all hard. I think that's what makes the wilderness hard, is that everything's hard. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if you want another picture, I feel like God's been doing open heart surgery during this entire priestly time.
But praise the Lord, you get anesthesia.
Yeah. But it's like, as you go through it, there is just walking, it's like, you know, even hitting like the series that Devin just did with the chambers of God's heart. It's like, but at the same time, He's been going through the chambers of our own hearts, but He's coming in and He's like, hey, I need to fix this area of your heart. I need to, you know, allow me in to all of these places that's been exposed. It wouldn't have been exposed before, but now it is. You know, if you have greenery covering a wall, you can't really see what's going on with the wall, but if all of that's removed, it's exposed, and then maybe you're starting to see, oh look, there's a crack right there, or there's rotting wood that needs to be replaced, or
maybe some cool lizards.
Yeah,
there's probably some cool lizards back there. You might want to grab those, put them in an enclosure, give them some water.
Yeah. Well, there's that too.
A couple mealworms, you know. You don't want them? Okay, well, bring them to me. I'll take them.
But it's been that place of being in the presence of God, just allowing the Lord to do His work. And it's been a time of great faith. It's been a time also, though, where God has been investing His heart into us and saying, this is what I have for you to go forward to build. And so then as we've been up here on this mountain, it's like God's filled us in with everything that we're going to go forward into. And then the idea, though, is that God's going to move us from this mountain, like Mount Sinai, and place us onto Mount Zion. And Mount Zion is really representative of like the Lord and His presence. And it's like we're going to be placed onto that mountain, and it's basically going from wilderness into the promised land. It's going from the priestly time into a kingly time, where we're going to be learning what it means to be sons and daughters of the King. What does that look like here on earth, and the authority that God has given us while we're here. And then learning how to really learning about the kingdom of heaven. And, you know, because there's the way that the kingdom of earth runs, but God's like, I want to show you my kingdom, like how I do things, how I would go forward in life. And so I really feel like ultimately we're at this position where, again, we're up on this mountain, but the only way for us to go from this mountain to the Mount Zion, like the promised land, is that we need the Lord to come in. And we have many visions where it's like the Lord shows up on the mountain and He has
bags of seed,
what we need to go forward.
Seed money. That's what they call it, right? Yeah. Seed money.
That we need to go forward to leave this mountain, because we want to go forward. Just like when Moses came down the mountain, his intention was that he was going to then establish the tabernacle. And of course, when Moses came down the mountain, then there was the golden calf, and God had to deal with all of that. But his heart's intention was like, we're going and we're going to establish my tabernacle, and we're going to go into the promised land. Yeah. I'm going to do everything that I promised you.
Yeah, all the stuff that we've been talking about in our videos for the past several years, and our house journey and all that stuff. It's just like, so when we're talking about this is not dress rehearsal, we're waiting to see the Lord show up here so we can go and do all the things that he's been sharing with us. I remember when we made videos about 12 stones, 12 homes. I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a major stretch, but it isn't anymore. That's what happens when you work out. When you work out, you might go into the gym. Today's the day, man. Oh my gosh, man, I'm gonna try to do 155. I'm gonna try and get it. I don't know if I can get it, but we're gonna try. And it's like, whoa, guys, not only did I do 155, I did it 3 times. Oh my gosh, it was stronger than I thought it was. Oh my gosh. And now you're to the point where you've been just so consistent, and it's been a couple years now. You can almost warm up with 155. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, there was a time when it was a really big stretch for you. And it's the same thing with us. If you go back and watch that video, 12 homes, 12 stones, that's not even, is that a bother for you anymore? It's like, our faith has been stretched and strengthened to such a degree, we believe God for anything.
Yeah. Like
literally anything. It's just like, what is it? Like, Lord, whatever you say, we'll do it. And God's like, that's good. It is good. And there was evening and there was morning. It is good. Because it's like, God's like, that's the point I was trying to get you to, but I had to do it in increments. You can't just, I want to deadlift 800 pounds. Yeah, let me just do it. No, you're going to be in the hospital because you're not ready. And so that's what we're ready to do. We're ready to see the Lord come, and that's what he's been saying. He's been showing it in so many different ways. Like, I am here. I am preparing you for what's about to happen, and that's what this whole dress rehearsal thing is, right? Yeah. Because when we get the provision in the vision, we get the provision, and we go down the mountain. And it's funny because there's a scripture, what is it, Luke 2:51? I've been getting 251, like a prophetic number, 251 a lot. And I'm like, what is it? What is it? And the Lord will always highlight what it is. And I hit Luke. You said, well, that's Luke 2:51, isn't it? And I was like, before I even read it, I was like, that's it. I just knew by the Spirit, that's it. What does it say? And it says, and Jesus went down with them to Jerusalem.
No, why? To Nazareth.
Oh, to Nazareth. Right, my bad. And basically, but he was going to his home, and that's where he was going to stay now until we see him again at 30. That's why we call him Jesus of Nazareth, And so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going down to the home. The very journey that God took us on all this for. He started with, hey guys, what do you want? Well, we want a home, some stability for our family. Only you can give it to us, God. Open up a door, do something. And he's like, okay, I'm going to open up a door for you to go into the wilderness of instability and insecurity, financially, relationally, everything elsely, and you're going to be depending on me for all of it. Like, oh my gosh, are you sure? Yes, it was just, man, it was just a good journey. But it's like you get to this point where it's like you get to a point when the baby has to be born. The Lord told me that in June 2017. He's like, Dev, you get to a point where you have to hold the baby in your hand. And I just feel like we're at that point. We had visitors recently that said, like, I'm seeing a crowning. It's crowning. And I'm like, whoa. And that was just another little tidbit of like, wow, this is like really, stuff's happening. Stuff's going on that's different. God's showing that he's transitioning. And so when you, with the 251, it made me think of Jesus getting the provision on the mountain, and we're going down, because I got that a while ago, right? This was even before we moved here into this place, which we've been for almost 5 years. That's crazy to think about, right? I don't even want to think about it right now. But glory to God. But yeah, it's just he came out of the shadows with this huge bags of seed. I mean, huge. He's like, come on, basically we're going to go plant some dreams and plant some visions. Basically see the desire and vision and dream and all that he's been filling us up with. We're going to see it come to pass now. We're going to go plant this, And then there's another vision of, do you want to say that one? Or do you want me to just go?
Yeah, you can just go.
Okay, there's another vision that was given to our daughter. When was that? When she was like 6 years old?
Yeah.
She was like, Yeah, and it was like, because it was during that
Super Bowl so
time,
February
it was the Eagles
2018.
or something. And she said, I got a vision last night. And we're like, okay, I got a vision of this eagle. And this eagle, he came and we were in this nest, and he came and he scooped us up off of one mountain, and he flew us over and put us on another mountain. And then he took his claw and dipped it in ink and wrote 144 on the mountain. Was that a vision or a dream?
It was
I don't
a dream,
remember. Yeah. And she, at that time, she didn't know about the 144. I mean, I would imagine she could have picked up on it or whatever, but I remember her saying she didn't know. She was not aware of that. I was like, don't you know that 144, that's the address of the house we're believing for at that time? And we've since moved on beyond that. We got videos explaining why, but it's like, what? That's crazy. And so both of those visions are basically depicting the provision coming. God, by his Spirit, doing a thing. He's going to carry us and get us to where he has, what he started, he's going to finish, you know? Yeah. And that's what this transitional point is. It's God starting something, and we feel like he's really in the process of transitioning us into that. There's another vision I have of me being in the prison. The prison of hope. You know, the Zechariah 9:12 prison of hope. But God says, well, what's going to happen is you're going to be called out and you're going to get this makeover. And it was almost like angels were giving me a makeover. And then you go to the edge, you know, the door that leads outside the prison, and you're just completely different. And I feel like even today and yesterday, we've just seen that. These different anointings and different callings that God has on me, he's bringing them out. And I was saying to Michelle today, I was like, oh, is this the makeover? Is this the makeover? Because what the Lord has been showing me is like how visions come to pass are just so different than the vision itself. And it takes the Lord to really see. It's almost like a hidden pictures book. You know, you have to really look for and have the Lord really awaken you to, hey, this is what's happening. And I just feel like that's what's happening. God's like, I'm making, because this stuff that he's having me do, like I'm doing like these short film ideas, and I'm doing stuff with my story pretty consistently. Just all these different things that are happening. I'm starting to break out these ledgers and charts and sheets of things, which are like, all of it is like important in the sense that I haven't done this before. And it's like really preparation for, and it just feels different. I can tell by the Spirit, this is different. This is not a, come on, let's run some laps, let's do some drills. No, this is not that. It's at some point, if you're promised to be married, you have to receive your wife, even if you were swindled and you have to still work another 7 years. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is, at some point you have to receive what was promised. You know. And so I feel like that's kind of where we're at. Yeah,
and so it's just with all of those visions, I just, it's pretty much like we're in that, we are ready and prepared to go from this priestly training time into the kingly time, and just that picture of going from one mountain to another mountain. But then it's just, they're going to be vastly different. You know, with the Mount Zion, it's just kind of like the idea of like being at a festive party celebration with the presence of the Lord. His hand is upon it. It's the same idea of the Song of Solomon and the mountains of spices, and it's just like, again, a celebration.
Well, it's about the going from Noah's Ark to the Ark of the Covenant. That's in the house of the Lord, in the temple of the Lord. That's what the Lord said. You're going to go from, he told me that a long time ago. He's like, you're going to just go from one ark to another ark. I was like, why? Because I'm thinking it's like, it's like Noah's Ark. I'm like, are you serious? Like, okay, we will. That's fine. You know, sometimes I think the Lord allows you to think wrong, because he's like, let me see what they're going to do. What are you going to do? How are you going to react? You're wrong, but I want to see what you think about it. He's not always quick to correct us.
Yeah.
Which is also different. The going from one ark to another ark.
And kind of talking about like the difference is like in the ark, like Noah's ark, it was there to one, to be saved from the judgment of God, but two, it was about keeping alive. For us, the animals would represent all the dreams and visions that God has for us, but it is a time where as a family you're just secluded and you're in this place. But then with the Ark of the Covenant, it's like taking everything that God has promised and the relational aspect of covenant, and you go forward with him into the promised land and to receive everything that he has spoken. And so that's really where we're at, of just this transitional place of going from wilderness to promised land, and that God's going to plant us on our mountain, and that we're just going to see him, and we're going to see his glory displayed there. So
and we will reveal more and more as the videos develop, because you have it all charted out.
But like I said, these first few videos are really kind of just highlighting and expressing that transitional place of being like what it's been like wilderness wise and transitioning into the kingly, and how is it going to be different. And so that's where we're at right now.
We are just getting dressed. It's almost like if we were vloggers, you would just see us putting on our tux, and then you come into the bathroom and you're just with your hair and just do it. And that's where we're at right now. It's like, don't be filming me right now. No, that's just where we're at. But it's for the real deal, And see, that's the thing. If I can, you have to have faith to the end. I keep seeing 188 and 18:18, which basically is the same thing. It goes to Luke 18. The whole story is 1 through 8, but then Luke 18:8 is, when I come will I find faith on the earth. Because if you just have a dress rehearsal mindset, you could just be like, oh, okay, whatever, we're just doing another dress rehearsal, more words, more prophetic words, more, God's going to do the yada, yada, yada. Okay. See, that's not faith. That's not faith, because when you're doing dress rehearsal, you have to act like this is what it really is. You're doing, this is what, you have to pretend like, okay, you have an audience. People have paid to see this performance. You need to be on point. Even in your dress rehearsals. That means you need to be in faith even when you're going through something that God knows is not going to result in the ultimate thing. You have to act like it is. Meaning, you have to take him at his word, what he's saying. And in that rehearsal process, he's got little corrections and little directions, because he's the director, and he's adding. Oh my gosh, every single dress rehearsal we've ever gone through, God has just added more and more and more. And it's like, those who endure to the end will receive the reward. Those who overcome will receive the reward. So in this point of our life, when we're like, man, no, this is the real deal, people could be like, oh, you've said that before. This is just dress rehearsal, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, well, even if it is, it's not. But I believe that this is what the Lord's saying, and I'm acting on it. I am just taking him at his word and acting on it. And that's what you have to do. No matter what. I don't care if you're down by 18 runs. You get up there and your mind is like, I'm going to get on base, or I'm hitting this out the park, one of the two. Don't just be like, oh, we're going to lose anyway. Well, you're always going to lose like with an attitude like that.
So that's what we had to share today, and we do pray that you guys are blessed and encouraged by what the Lord is sharing, and
stay in faith.
Yes.
All the way through.
Yes.
Don't slow down when you get to the finish line. Slow down after you feel the tape break across your chest. Then you can slow down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys. Until next time, we will see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.